Amber Rodriguez, hosting EWC Cultural News Today. Last segment, I explained the current debate of a recession in the United States and the growing concern for high inflation rippling through every household in the United States with gas prices, groceries, rent, you name it. Many are wondering, how did we get to this point of high inflation? Today, I'm here to give you a short timeline to explain why there's inflation. Arguably, most of the result is because of the COVID-19 pandemic. According to CNBC, there are three general causes to the current high inflation rate: the increase in household demand and supply chain shortages, the war in Ukraine, and the strong labor market. Let's flash back to the beginning of lockdowns for the United States. Remember shelves being bare from essentials, especially toilet paper? People stockpiled on necessities and certain goods during this time, some to an excessive amount. Then the lockdowns kicked in. People stayed inside or shifted to work from home. Businesses closed or cut hours and staff. According to AP News, 22 million jobs were wiped. Then industrial activity reduced or shut down as consumer demand lowered. People shifted back into the spending routine once COVID-19 restrictions eased and vaccines rolled out. Restaurants, bars, movie theaters, and stores reopened. Demand for goods skyrocketed, with people trying to return to the normalcy of their lives. Some manufacturers and distributors of goods could not produce or supply like they used to before the pandemic. This is how we see global supply chain issues as businesses scramble for both workers and the supplies. The juggling act of the supply chain goes even further as different countries go through a variety of several waves of COVID-19 pandemic at different rates. As the United States eased restrictions, other countries went the opposite direction with more restrictions to fight the outbreaks. China plays a significant role in global manufacturing. Shanghai faced a severe COVID-19 outbreak in March of this year. In response, China prioritized reducing infection numbers by enacting a zero-COVID strategy. In part of this strategy, containment measures, including testing truck drivers for COVID-19, delayed shipments of raw materials and goods globally. On top of these delayed shipments, the US faced its own struggles with the low number of truckers. According to American Truck Association, in 2021, trucking companies suffered a shortage of more than 80,000 drivers. Additionally, Russia's invasion of Ukraine weighed heavily on inflation for food, energy, gas, and commodity prices for the United States. According to a report by the New York Times, trucks have become critical for transport after Russia blocked Ukrainian ports and bombed train tracks. The price of fuel has tripled since the invasion in February, in part because Russia also destroyed numerous Ukrainian fuel depots. While Russia invaded Ukraine, the United States eased its COVID-19 restrictions even further. Over this summer, many people returned to the pre-COVID work rhythm. According to AP News, the US added 528,000 jobs in July, which officially marked the recovery of all 22 million jobs lost in the US from March and April of 2020. A strong labor market does contradict the idea of the debate of a recession. However, other factors beyond trucker shortages, China's COVID policies, Russia's invasion in Ukraine, and high consumer demand have come into play with our current economic standing of inflation and an unofficial recession. The start of the COVID-19 pandemic is arguably the main trigger for the domino effect of these issues affecting the US economy and global supply. In the next segment, I will update you on any changes to the current status of our economy involving inflation and the unofficial recession. I'm Amber Rodriguez, your host for EWC Cultural News Today, and this is Economic Anxiety Explained.
You've been listening to EWC Cultural News Today. hosted by Amber Rodriguez. If you'd like to make suggestions, email us at ewcfacts@gmail.com. That's ewcfacts@gmail.com. This has been an EWC Communication production.